Good morning. This is Saturday morning, February 3rd. I thought I'd start this tape and then have Gary talk on it, and maybe he can tell you something about his trip. Gary went to guard meeting this morning. Oh, he had to be there at 8 o'clock, and he has to be there all day today and tomorrow. Well, he gets through at 5. He just called now and said that he wanted to know what everybody was doing around here, and he said he wasn't much doing down there. His job today was answering the phone, so he just called to see what we were doing. Ed came over after Dad a while ago. He wanted Dad to help him with something over there. I just don't know what it was. Don and I both have a cold, so I haven't been doing much of anything. Don is steaming himself now and watching his TV. Our weather hasn't been too bad. Some mornings it's about 0, but no colder than that. This morning I noticed it's about 15 above, which isn't bad, but it kind of looks like it's going to snow. It's blowing a little right now. Dad hasn't been too busy. I think he only went to work one day this week. I think that was on Monday. So he hasn't been doing too much. Ed came over yesterday, and Dad and Ed played cards. And then when I had the homemakers on Thursday, the men went over to Ed's and played cards over there. The club meeting went real good. I think there was 8 of us at the meeting, which is pretty good for our meeting because we don't have too many members anymore. Barbara and Lil gave us a lesson on dieting. It was a real good lesson. Marion came over after school, so she was here in time to have coffee with us. For dessert, I made a lemon dessert, and I made it into a pie with graham cracker crust. It turned out pretty good. For a what's-it, I had got a pair of brushed nylon slippers in pink, and Florence won that. Thursday evening, Marion came over and stayed here while Dad and Joe went bowling. And, we watched a few television programs, Peyton Place and the Newlywed Game. Then we just sat and visited. The guys got home about 9:30. Then we had pie and coffee and just sat around and talked until about 11 o'clock, and they went home. Dad and Joe go bowling this afternoon at 4:30 in the tournament at the Redway bowling alley. Tomorrow afternoon, between 1 and 2, Dad and I go to St. James and pick up Donald's report card and talk to teachers. The first semester they had the parents go for the freshmen and senior students, and now this semester they have it for the sophomore and junior. How's Scotty and Kim? I hope they're fine and don't have a cold. Tomorrow morning, Marion and Joe are going to Detroit Lakes and get Mary Sue and the 2 little boys and bring them back here for a week because Denny has to go to Minneapolis for some meeting or something, and she might as well be here visiting Marion and Joe is being home alone. Then they have to be moved to Fairmont, Minnesota by the 1st of March. We got a letter from Jean yesterday. She said that Larry starts his vacation on the 2nd of September and has till the 22nd. So she just wanted to let Dad know so Dad could fix his vacation time. Dad has his first week sometime in June. He wants to have it when they're seating, and he always has started having it before he's put it in for May, and then he has to change it again till June. So this time he just put it into June, then probably if he needs it earlier, he'll just change it into an earlier date. I hope we have a early spring this year. Hi there. Here it is, Sunday afternoon. Kind of a quiet day around here. We went to Dad and I went to 10:30 Mass. Donald didn't go because he was sick last night. Donald has the flu, and he's been in bed most of the day today. But now he's watching something on TV. It's a night skating or skiing, I guess. This afternoon, about 2 o'clock, Dad and I went to St. James and got Donald's report card, and then we talked to some of his teachers. They all said that he was an average student and didn't cause any trouble. Just getting along fine. Then when we got home from St. James, Dad went over to Ralph's and played cards. And he just got home now. He's watching this skiing on TV, too. They'll call us around noon and wanted us to go over there and play cards this afternoon and have supper with them. She was also having Mickey and Leroy and Bert and Marge over. But then I still have a cold, and I don't really feel too good, and I don't feel like playing canasta all afternoon. So then I just as soon make supper for Gary and Don. There's pretty good TV programs on Sunday evening, and Dad and I like to watch them. Our weather has been pretty nice this last couple weeks. At least it's been above zero, and we don't have any new snow, so Dad hasn't been having to go out very much. Last Monday when I was uptown, I went into Singer's sewing machine and inquired about when they're going to give these sewing machine lessons, because I hadn't got mine yet neither. And you can get it within a year after you buy your sewing machine, so I thought I'd better check on it. And they said they were starting a new series of lessons last Tuesday. She said I could come then, but I couldn't go that day because that was the day I was going to help clean the church. So instead I'm going to start next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and she said they were from 1 to 3:30. So I'll be taking a lesson now every Tuesday afternoon for the next 4 or 5 weeks. She said the lesson that I missed last Tuesday I can catch up on it at the end of these when they'll start another series of lessons. So when Jean wrote to us the other day, she told us how pleased Larry was about getting the Arabian knife you folks had sent him for his birthday. She said that it was an antique knife, and Larry had a collection of old knives, and he didn't have this particular one, so he was really thrilled over receiving this. Jean had Pat give her a body Tony permanent, and she said it turned out real good. Hi again. Now wouldn't you just know it would be me back here at this tape. I tried to get the rest of them to talk, but they always keep telling me later on. Here it is. This is Monday forenoon. Gary had to go to Crookston today. He wanted to take his snowcat down there. That's where he bought it. And he wanted to take it down to have it rechecked. And Dad was going to go to work at Emerito today, but there really isn't any snow. He's going to go out there and see how the patrol was, if there was a flat tire on it or not, because there was one tire low. But then he had decided to go with Gary, so then they just left. Gary went out and got us the mail before he left, and we got this nice letter from you and also a letter from Grandpa and Mimi. Thanks for sending the pictures. We all got another real good look at them. I think they're real cute. Mary Sue is over at Marion, so when I go over there this week, I want to go and see Mary Sue and the kids. So when I go over there some evening this week, I'm going to take the pictures along, because Marion has always asked me if I have any new pictures of the kids.
Hi everyone, this is Don. I didn't go to school today because I wasn't feeling good this week. Sure. Last Saturday afternoon on TV, they had our hockey game on TV. We played Fargo Central, and we lost by 1 point. Then just the other day, we played in basketball. We played Cavalier, and we beat them 125 to 40. You know, the pictures we got at Christmas time, you know, that you sent were really nice of Scotty and Kim. They sure are growing. Went to Crookston today. They should be back about 3 to 3:30. Gary took a snowmobile down there to get it tuned up. He gets it out of tune, and I guess a wheel fell off it or something. He's gonna get put on. Well, bye for now. I'll talk to you later.
Hi, Jan, Larry, Scott, and Kim. With all these voices on here, I guess I better tell you this is Gary. I haven't been doing much since I got back from vacation. It's kind of hard to even think about going back to work after a month's vacation. I'll try to tell you some of the things we did on our vacation. You can imagine the rest. Well, it's not really that bad, but it was a lot of fun. The first week we were in Colorado Springs for school, and then we went to Las Vegas and spent one night there. Lost a little money, but it sure was fun. And then we went on to Disneyland and spent 2 days there, and didn't see all of it, but what we did see, it's really something to see. Then from Disneyland we drove over to Bob Dubuque's and spent one night with him. He's getting along real fine. He's wondering how everybody was and asked about yous. And then we went to San Francisco and spent one night with Mary. She didn't have time to show us around too much because she was going to LA the next day. She's thinking about working down there. So we left there the next morning, then drove over to Ruthie's, and she showed us around quite a bit. She knows quite a few places where everybody hangs out. And then we went to Seattle and spent 2 days with Mimi and Grandpa. They're getting along real fine, and hope to make it back here this summer when everybody else is here. Then we drove to Gillette, Wyoming to see Art's sister, and when we got there, Leon, her husband, wants me to go to work for him. I was kind of surprised because I didn't know nothing about it. I guess he had tried to get a hold of me before we left Grand Forks, but he called the same day and just missed us. He owns a machine shop down there and wants me to run a lathe for him. So right now my plans are to go back there and go to work for him at least until spring's work on the farm. I plan on leaving this week, and I'm going to take the Mercury down there. The town is real small, but I can put in as many hours as I want, so I'll probably be so tired I won't be looking for something to do at night anyway. I plan on selling my snowcat before I leave. I don't want to, but I got a real good price on it. I don't like to leave it set all winter and let it depreciate for 1 year. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell it, and then I'll buy another one next year when they come out. So I'll have one in use come here anyway. Well, I'll write to you as soon as I get down there and let you know my address so we can communicate by some letters anyway and know how everything is going. So this is Gary saying goodbye for right now.
Hi, Jan, Larry, Scotty, and Kim. It's been so long since I've been at work now, 2 days in the last 2 weeks, so it's going to be funny to get back. But the time isn't too long, playing cards with Ed in the afternoons. Our bowling didn't turn out very good. In the team we didn't do nothing, and then Joe and I in the double and singles was no good either. So we won't get nothing back. And for that hockey game the university had, they lost both of them. We were going to make a tape of it, but by the first period the tape was gone on one side, so we didn't. It was going to turn out real good, though. Gary will be leaving us, so the time is going to seem a little different around here. So I guess I'll just say good night.
Hello, everyone. Here it is, Tuesday morning. Dad went to work about 7 o'clock this morning, and Donald went back to school, so it's kind of quiet around here. Gary hasn't got up yet, but he'll get up pretty soon. He wants to get his income tax done today. And then there's this guy's going to come out, and I think he's going to buy Gary's snowcat today. He's a sergeant that works at the National Guard office. We hate to see Gary leave again now that he's home. It's real nice to have him home. But then I suppose he'd be pretty bored around here the rest of the winter doing nothing. And as he says, he wants to try this kind of work out and see how he likes it. And I know that Leon will be a real nice boss, and Betty's so nice too. So it don't be as if he'd be down there with strangers. And Betty and Leon said that Gary could stay with them until he found a place down there. Gary will be back, I think, around the 1st of May, because there's a National Guard meeting, a 3-day National Guard meeting here around the 1st of May, and he said he'd be back for that. In the meantime, he'll go to National Guard meetings in Gillette, as they have a National Guard office down there too, and he can take in some meetings down there. They told him he could do that. Our weather yesterday was kind of nice. It was about 29 or 30 degrees above zero, and last night about 7 o'clock it rained, but it froze as it rained, so for a while the roads were real slippery, but they got all right. Then during the night it blowed real hard, and we thought we were going to have a storm, but this morning it's real nice again. The sun is shining, and it's a little above zero. Art came over last evening, and him and Gary went uptown. Sunday evening, Gary and I took the snowmobiles down by Manville. And, Gary said they really had fun. They went on the river down there. There was about 9 guys with snowcats. And they went up and down those hills. And, Gary said they really had a wonderful time. They want to try and go again tonight. Art went back to work at Tri-Steel yesterday morning, so he'll be kind of busy now. Gary thought maybe he'd leave Saturday morning. He has a dentist appointment on Friday, which he wants to keep. And then by the time he gets his income tax done and some other things, I think it'll probably take until Saturday morning. Tomorrow he's going to take the Mercury into Hillard's and get some things fixed on it, because Gary's going to drive the Mercury down there. I think it'd be kind of hard for him to be down there without a car, and we'll manage some way here with just a Chevrolet. I just hope that the weather is good and I won't have to drive to Amarillo too many times, especially in the days that I have to pick up the children. Maybe I can trade with Evelyn or something. In the letter we got from Grandpa and Mimi yesterday, they said that a couple days after Gary had left down there, it had snowed real hard one night. The next morning you couldn't hardly get out on the street. And then ever since that it's been raining, so the weather is kind of chilly down there. Well, I think I'll go and write a few letters now and get the paper wrapped up for Jean, and then I can get this mailed when I go uptown this afternoon. I think I may take that sewing lesson today. And then I have to pick up some groceries before we get the children. I don't think I have much more left on this tape. I just really can't tell. Sometimes it seems it's more left than you really think there is. But anyway, I'll say goodbye for now, and I think I'm elected to make the other side of this tape now. Thanks for sending those pictures back, Jan. I just love every one of them. I've looked at them over and over again. Goodbye for now. Good morning, everyone. Well, here's Mom again. Dad just left with the Mercury. He took it into Hillard's, and he's going to help Hillard work on it today. Mike Schaefer came out and got Gary, and they went to town. Donald has gone to school, so I'm here by myself. I'm going to go to town in a few minutes now. I have to go to the bank and pay some bills and stuff and get that done with. Dorothy and Carl called us last evening and said that they'd be down this weekend. The Saturday evening they're going to a Casey dinner at the Air Force Base, and this dinner is at 7 o'clock, and they drop Paul off here first and then go down there to this dinner and then come back here and spend the night and then spend Sunday with us. So we're real anxious to see them. They said they had got those movie films that you had sent them, and they'll bring them down. Carl said he was working on a tape now that he's going to send you. I had a laugh at Dorothy. She said that she has a hard time talking on that tape, but she just can't talk to anyone that doesn't talk back to her. So I told her when she got down here we'd make a tape, all of us together. So she said, well, that'd be fine. I still have a cold, and it's mostly in my throat, so if this doesn't sound like me, you'll know the reason why. Yesterday afternoon I took this sewing lesson at Singer's. I was given at Singer's. There were 8 ladies there all together, but I really can't say I got too much out of it. This woman that gave the lesson, she mostly showed different attachments to use, and this was for a larger and heavier sewing machine than I have, and I don't have most of these attachments, such as the hammer, and she showed how to put on bias tape, and then she's got some kind of a flat buttonhole maker there, and then she showed the commercial buttonhole maker, something like the one I have, but I can't use this one I have on this machine of mine because they're made different now. He told us how to use the zipper foot. I was interested in that, but she didn't actually put on a zipper, so I didn't learn any more than I knew before, really. We've had these zipper lessons and buttonhole making and stuff at Homemakers, so this woman didn't, or else I didn't catch on any better than I did at Homemakers. I still have a hard time with zippers. Then she also showed how to open up the machine and how to clean it with a brush. Then the lesson that they gave last Tuesday that I missed, they had showed how to use these cans for the bigger machines. Ginny has these cans on her machine, but I don't have them on mine, so I don't think I missed anything there neither. I guess it all depends on the instructor you get, so maybe, Janice, you can get more out of the lessons down there than I got here. Our weather is still not too bad. It's above zero this morning, not too much above, I guess, but it's real clear out anyway. No snowstorms or anything. Well, here I am again. I can hardly believe this is Thursday already. I was going to get more done on this tape yesterday, but some way or another the day got away from me. I guess I didn't get it done. I went uptown yesterday forenoon. I went up around noon, I guess, and stayed till about 2 o'clock. Then I came home. I thought maybe Gary would want the car, but he wasn't home. So then when Donald got home at 4 o'clock, Don and I went in because he wanted to go down to Sears, look at some things. So Don and I went in. We got home about 6. Dad had got the car fixed at Hillard's, and he was through about 4 o'clock, I guess. Mike came out and got Gary yesterday morning, like I told you, and then they went down to the National Guard here. Mike is thinking of quitting school. I thought this was his last year, but Gary said he has more than this semester left, so he's thinking of quitting school, and I guess kind of worried about the draft, so he's going to see if he could get into the Guard. Well, the National Guard here was full, so then Gary and Mike drove down to Bemidji to see about the Guard there, but he couldn't get in there now neither, so he's going to see if he can get in reserve someplace. I'm sure glad Gary is in the National Guard instead of in the Army and have to worry about him going overseas. Gary says he's leaving for Gillette, Wyoming on Saturday morning, so I'm getting his clothes ready now. I hate to see him leave now after he's been home for a week. It's nice to have him here, but then, well, we're lucky he's not going away to the war or something, which would be so much worse, you know. It's a real dreary day here today. It's real windy and dark out. The wind is blowing dust, and not really, I don't know where the dust has come from, but we don't have such an awful lot of snow, and what the snow we do have is packed down pretty good, so it's blowing dust, so the snow we have is just getting real black, and it's about 10 above, but it looks colder. Dad went over to Ed's a little while ago, and he's playing cards over there with Frank and Ed. He told Gary to pick him up about 5 o'clock. Gary just went in to get the boys from school. Susie didn't go to school again today because Susie's been sick the last couple weeks rather. She goes to school every off and on, one day here and then, and they checked the doctor, and the doctor says she has a slight case of rheumatic fever. So Nevin took her in to the doctor again today. He said her blood, there's something wrong with her blood, so he sent her to the hospital, and he said he wanted to take tests for 2 or 3 days and see how she's coming. Her muscles seems to ache and stuff like that, so it's too bad she had to be sick. I'm washing clothes today and then getting Gary's clothes ready to pack so he can take down there. I'm glad he's taking the car. It's much easier to take his work clothes and stuff. He's going to pick up one of those rods for the back of the car today so that he can hang clothes on a hanger, and it's much easier than to pack one suitcase. I hope I can get this tape done today so I can get it in the mail tomorrow. I have to go uptown tomorrow for groceries and a few odds and ends, so maybe I'll be able to mail this. We'll see. We got a letter from Jean today. She had wrote it Monday afternoon, and she said that Pat and Rick had left that morning. She said that they had started out on Sunday about 11 o'clock, and then they came back about 2:30 because they had car trouble. So then they stayed an extra day. Jean said she had another bad cold, and she had went to the emergency room at the hospital after church on Sunday and had got some cough medicine. She said she's busy practicing for that squadron skit that she's in, and now she had got some material for costume, purple above all colors. We may call Jean and Larry this evening because Gary wants to talk to her too before he leaves. I haven't called her since Christmas. I think maybe we'll give her a call. Jean said she had got a baby announcement from one Alan Bell. She said they had went to a squadron party at the club, and they had served chicken with wine sauce, and Jean said it was real good. Larry had won the table centerpiece, which was red and white carnations. So she said she had a nice bouquet of flowers at home. She said Pat and Rick had given her a real pretty cookie jar, and Larry a tray to put on his dresser for loose change and so forth. And they'd given that to Jean and Larry when they left for letting them stay there. Well, Jean had just told me she was going to let her hair grow, you know, but then in this letter she said she had got it cut real short on Thursday. So maybe after she got this permanent, she figured it would be better to get it cut. She says it's a lot easier to take care of with it short. Do you have your hair short, Jen? I think you, on that picture, that Christmas snapshot that you sent, your hair looks real nice. I talked to Mickey on the phone this forenoon. She said that, they're all fine. She wants me to come over someday next week and spend the whole day. She wants me to bring the typewriter because she had some things she wanted to type. And then she wanted to do some sewing. She wanted me to help her with some little doll clothes she wanted to make for Mary. So she's going to give me a call, and I'm going to go and spend the day with her. I think it'd be kind of fun to go over there. I haven't been over to Mickey's for quite a while. I had told Marion, too, that I'd go over there for a little while while Mary Sue is home. I still haven't gotten over there yet, neither. And Denny is coming after Mary Sue this weekend, so maybe I'll go after Gary gets home with the children today, because I know I won't have time on Friday, and then Dorothy and Carla come on Saturday, so I don't want to go over there on Saturday. Gary sold his snowmobile last Tuesday to one of the sergeants at the National Guard office, and the guy borrowed a trailer and came out and got it. We all kind of just hated to see it go, but then Gary said he'd get another one next year. I know Paul was kind of anxious to get down here so he could ride it, so I'm kind of sorry that it's gone now when he comes, because him and Donnie would have had fun with it on Sunday anyway. Sunday morning they could have drove it, but then maybe Paul will get a chance at one next year if Gary gets another one. When I was talking to Mickey today, she said that Adele was in yesterday, and she said that Tommy and Beth are having the baby baptized next Sunday, and they were going to call her Kimberly Ann. That's a real sweet name, isn't it? Their other little girl's name is Michelle, so they have both Kim and Michelle. Well, how is our little Kimmy and Scotty? I bet they keep you busy. I can hardly wait to see them and see you folks too. But then, the way the time is going, it won't be too long now until you'll be here. Oh, we've had the demon bug lately. Every chance Don and Dad and I have, we just, between programs or something, we'll sit down and play demon. Wouldn't you know, Don always wins, just about always anyway. I haven't won a game yet. Dad won a few, but Donald, so whiz. I should practice up on myself while I'm here alone and then fool him. Well, I should go downstairs now, see how my clothes are coming. I'm sure there's some ready for the dryer, and then I can put another batch in. Yesterday I got a card from Ida Keys in Drayton. She asked me to send her the dates of Sister Mary Ellen and Sister Margaret Ann's birthday, but only I don't even know it, so I'll have to find out from someone when they are so I can send it to her. She said the sisters always send them cards on their birthday, and she'd like to send them a card on their birthday too, so I'll have to get it and send it to her. She said that they were all fine, and she had a grandson that was on his way over to Vietnam. She's kind of worried about him, and then she has another grandson that's in the National Guard someplace. He's on his six months training right now. That's Dorothy's boy that lives in Drayton. Oh, this is Friday morning. Don just left for school, and Dad and Gary are having breakfast. I was going to try and finish this tape last night, but, well, I watched some TV programs with Gary and Don, and then it got kind of late. Dad went bowling and he got home about 10:30, 11. Then he finished, him and Gary watched the Joey Bishop show. By the time it gets to be about 11 o'clock, it's time for me to go to bed. Gary stayed home all evening last night. He said there wasn't anything going on uptown anyway. And, well, there really isn't anything around here much for young people to do. Even St. James don't even have dances anymore. I went over to Marion's yesterday afternoon after Gary had got home, picking up the boys at school. I stayed over there about 20 minutes as they were getting ready to go uptown. They were going to go shopping. Mary Sue and Marion are going to go shopping while Joe was at the bowling alley, and then she was going to leave the children with Johnson's. Mary Sue looks good. Her youngest little boy was 9 months old yesterday, so he's growing up pretty good too. He's creeping all over now. The oldest one is Jeffy. He makes strange. He doesn't want anybody to touch him. He just runs to his mother. But then, well, that's kind of, it's really natural, that they do make strange about that age, I guess. He never used to be strange, but Mary Sue said he just started that lately. How about it, Scotty? You going to be scared of us when you get here? And how about you, Kim? You'll be about that age, too. Well, if we seem strange to you, I'm sure it won't be very long until we're real good friends, okay? After I left Marion's, I stopped at Ed's to pick up Dad, because he said to pick him up at 5 o'clock. Well, this was already 5:15, but they were still playing cards, and they wanted to finish the game, so I visited with Lil and Ida for a while. As soon as we finished eating supper last night, we called Jean. We wanted to call her before Dad left for bowling. She said Larry had went on alert, so we didn't get to talk to him. Jeannie said she was house cleaning, so her place was in a mess. Gary is busy working on his income tax now. Then he has a dentist appointment this afternoon at 2:30, so he'll go in. Then I think Dad will go in with Gary, so I think I'll take the car and go in now and buy some of my groceries and a few things I have to get uptown. Or our Altar Society project, the one that we made the bulletin boards for last year. Well, this year we decided that each one would make something of their own, and then we'd just put it all together for our holiday parade. So Marion and I decided we'd buy a small doll and make some clothes for it, and then we'd sell chances on that at the when they have this holiday parade. So I have to look for a doll now. We have to decide, we have to know what we're going to have for our project for the next meeting. But the other day when I was uptown, I looked for a doll and really can't even hardly find a doll this time of the year. I should have bought it at Christmas time, but then we never thought of it then. So I'll have to look around, see where I can find one. I went out to Sears the other day, but they didn't have anything. And there's no toy stores here in town. But I want to get this sewing done now instead of waiting for this summer. I don't want to start sewing for dolls this summer. I'd rather make something for Kimmy and Scotty after you get here. Well, I think this tape is just about at its end now. So I'll say goodbye for now, and then when Dorothy and Carl come, we plan on making a tape while they're here, maybe while we're playing cards or something. It might not be too interesting, but then it'll be something anyway. Gary might not leave this weekend if he doesn't get everything done. He wanted to finish at the dentist, and if he doesn't get through today, I have an appointment Monday at 9:30, so if Gary's still here, then he can take that appointment and I can get another one later. So maybe he won't go until Tuesday morning. Well, we'll have to see. So the sun is shining here today, but it's kind of cold out. I think it's about 8 below right now. Kind of a day out.